Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Today we're out in the woods and we're going to be making some birch bark oil, which is very handy for fire starting and also taking care of your tools. So stick around and I'm going to show you how to make it. So when going out to find yourself some silver birch bark, what you want to use is a tree that has already fallen or is rotten. You don't want to cut any trees that are standing up that's fresh. It's not good for the tree and it's pretty unhealthy for them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this off. Now, as it's already rotten, it is a lot easier. But I'm going to just make a slice down and pop my knife inside and slowly peel away one section. Now, because it's rotten, it's quite easy to peel. And that's what we're looking for. Right, now we're back at camp. What we need to do is we need to clean all of this off. All this stuff you can see on here, we don't need any of that. That will not help the oil, it kind of ruins the purification of it. So we're going to use our knife and we're going to scrape all of this stuff off, and we want to get it as clean as possible. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be good enough for you to use to make the oil. You want as purest oil as possible. So what we're going to do is we're going to scrape off all of this as the best as we can. So try and get it as clean as possible. I find it easy when it's rotten wood, as it does just come off nicely. But you want to do whatever you can to get as much of it off as possible. I find it's quite relaxing to do. I find it quite sensory cleaning it up. But it does take some time, so as long as you're patient with this and you're making sure you get it as tidy as possible, there should be no issues at all. Now, just to show you what it looks like as a one side looks good, one side doesn't, this is what we're looking for, where you have scraped it as clean as possible. Got rid of as much of it as possible. There's no more rotten wood on it. That is what you're looking for. So when you see all these different colours on the back of the birch bark and it's lighter and darker, that will show you that there is still oil remaining in it. So that is what we're looking for. But that is the dirty side. It's still got all this rubbish on it. So we're going to continue cleaning all of this. It will take a while. It is quite sensory. I do enjoy doing this. I think it's quite nice to clean it all. It's quite satisfying, but it does take time. So consider that when you're doing this. Right, after spending quite a bit of time getting all of this cleaned up, it's finally ready to be put in the container. So the system that we're going to have set up in place is we're going to have the small tin. This is going to catch the oil and it's going to have no lid, and it's going to sit at the bottom buried in a hole, which you will see shortly. And then we're going to have a big tin which will have a lid, which I've already popped a hole in. That hole is going to be where the oil is going to drip through. So you'll have your birch stored in here. I don't know if you can see, but I have hit it with a hammer a bit just so I can make this indented, so it helps the oil drip down a bit better. But we'll see how that works. So the plan is to have this buried in a hole, birch bark in the top one with the lid on the top, hole pointing down. That's going to sit on the top, and then we're going to have the fire going around this, which will heat this up, not burn it, and then the oil will slowly drip down into here. When filling up the container that you're going to put the birch bark in, you do want it as tight as possible. Now what this does is this reduces the amount of oxygen that is in the tin. so it doesn't catch a light and burn everything, because you don't want it to catch light, you don't want it to catch on fire. Alright, as you can see, I have packed it in very tightly. I have to hold it down a bit just so it doesn't pop out. But I'm going to pop the lid on now, and then that is all ready to go. Sorted. Once you've got your hole, pop the small tin in that's going to catch the oil, and I would cover the top with your hands. You don't want to get anything in the top. You don't want to contaminate the oil, so I'm going to gently push all this around just to seal it in, hold it in place. Now you do want to make sure that this hole is actually covering the main tin at the bottom, otherwise the oil won't drip through. So if you pop that in place there, now you can cover it up a bit more. So this is what it should look like. The tin is on the top, and I've completely sealed and covered the bottom tin. There's nothing that's going to get inside because this is on the top weighing it down. If you want to, you can pop a big rock on the top. It will just hold it in place so nothing knocks it over. But hopefully this should stay intact. But what you're going to do is you're going to build a fire around this tin that's going to slowly heat it up to let the oil drip all the way into the bottom. That is what we're aiming to do. So I've built the fire ready around here, and I've used a simple log house cabin that will keep the heat spread around the whole thing. And let's get this fire going. While I'm waiting for this oil to be processed, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cook myself a toastie at the same time. Might as well make the most of the fire. So I'm going to be making myself a toastie, and I bought this off of Amazon, which I thought would be quite cool for a video. So I'm going to have a nice toastie. Now the question is to see if this actually closes. Oh, it's a bit of a squeeze. Perfect. It's not too bad. Right, I don't want this on direct flames, otherwise it's going to burn it. So I'm going to pop it there. Look at that melted cheese. Yum. Right, moment of truth. Let's see what this looks like. Look at that. Oh, I know you can't smell it, but I can tell you it really smells nice. Right, this has cooled down now and I've been very excited to try this. I don't expect too much of a pull, but look at that. That looks pretty nice. The onions are really, really nice, but the sausages, well, the salami, that's really good as well. Overall, that's a really good toasty and worth having a fire for. Right, the fire's died down now, so what I've done is I've pushed the remainder of the coals out of the way, as I don't want this to cook for too long. I know you can't smell it, but I can actually smell the birch oils. It's a really nice earthy green smell. So that is a good sign that something is happening that's meant to. And if you can just see this smoke that's coming around the edges, that is just the remainder of the birch bark. The gas is being released, so it still needs to be left on the fire. We're going to leave it for a bit, wait for it to cool down, and then we'll dig it up and see what's happened. Right, I've left this to cool for quite a while now, so I'm going to have a look and see what's going on. I'm just going to pop this on here just to hold it in place, because I don't want any dirt to get inside the smaller tin. So I'm just going to scrape away everything else. I don't know if you can see, but what I've done is I've actually scraped everything around the edges, so you can just see the tin. I don't want anything getting in the top. That's why I've scraped as much as I can around the edges. Alright, now I need to try and carefully take this off. And I've got my improvised chopsticks. Yes. Take that off. What you want to do is move it to the side, and you don't want to touch that yet. And don't take the lid off of the big tin, because if you take the lid off the big tin, then there might still be some gas in it, so you need to let it kind of like die down and do its thing first. Right, it's very hard to tell, but can you see that shiny stuff at the bottom? You can see the GoPro shiny reflecting off of it. That is birch oil. Right, so I've let the birch oil cool down, and it does smell really, really nice. It's got a very perfumey smell to it, but this is what it looks like. You can just about see. So it's a very dark colour. I say it smells amazing, but what this stuff is really good for is it's really good natural fire starter. So it even lights when it's wet. It helps protect metal tools from rust, which is very, very handy. It does work as a natural wood stain. As you'd imagine, it would be quite a dark colour. You can use this to waterproof your gear. You wouldn't need much of it. I say this is quite a lot. You don't need this much on this knife. So a little does go a long way with birch oil. It has a mild antiseptic properties for small cuts, so you can use it for first aid. And what I would love to do with this is I would like to turn it into primitive glue. So I can turn this into tar, and what you do is cook it a little bit longer and it becomes a bit thicker, and you add some ash to it and some other bits and bobs, and then you can make yourself some primitive glue. So I've just put that on the knife, and that will protect it from getting rusty. So that's quite a nice thing to do. That's it for the video today. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope you give it a try making birch oil. It is quite fun. It's a very long process, so do find something else to do while you're making it. If you did like the video, please feel free to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell. It does support the channel a lot, and I'll see you in the next video.